Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Doing something a little different today. We're gonna make elk jerky. This is elk jerky from Braden's hunt back in November. This is his cow. We got about 4 or 5 pounds, probably about 5 pounds of meat here that we're going to make into jerky. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. I have a meat slicer. If you don't have a meat slicer, you can just use a regular knife, butcher, whatever, any knife, steak knife. You can use anything. If you're gonna use a knife though, I recommend that you don't unthaw your meat all the way. Keep it like partially frozen still, because when you go to make your cuts, it's going to stay, you're gonna get more consistent cuts with it if it's partially frozen. But in my case, I have a meat slicer, so it's gonna make it a lot easier. So basically what we're gonna do is just take this big hunkin' chunk of meat, stick her in our slicer here, and I have it, the thing you want to do, we're going to cut this to about 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch thick pieces. These are going to be, I think, closer to 1/4 inch, but yeah, we just stick her in here, turn her on, and run her through. That's pretty close. This one here is, I don't think we can get much more out of that, but basically, here's a nice piece here. This is what we're gonna, this is about the thickness we're going for here, about 1/4 inch or so. And you can either leave them this length. What I'm gonna end up doing, we're gonna cut them in half, make them thinner strips, but okay, so here's all of our meat, all sliced up, nice and thin. Some of these, like this is like the last chunks. It wouldn't, the slicer wouldn't cut it, so I'm just gonna end up cutting it with a knife. Let me grab we'll just cut this one just right in half right here. We're gonna take this meat, let's just put it in this bowl. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, oh, I need this, I'll grab this bowl too. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pieces, and basically, like I said, they're kind of wide for me. I want them a little thinner and a little smaller, so we basically cut them into 4 little strips, and then these are our good pieces. So we'll put them over there. And we're gonna do that a bunch of times. Some of these are already thin enough, so like that was thin enough, didn't have to cut it. But any of the wide ones, I'm gonna go right down the middle and then across. And we're making about, I don't know, 3-inch pieces, 3 inch by an inch and a half, something like that. That's the size I like. You can use whatever, I mean, you could literally keep it just like that and do it if you want, but for me, I like them a little thinner and smaller. All right, last one there. Now, what we're gonna do, with this stuff out of the way, we're gonna make a brine. We're gonna make a brine for the jerky to go in, and I'll show you what that is and how to do that right now. All right, so here's our ingredients for this brine. It's pretty simple stuff. It's soy sauce, Worcestershire W sauce. I don't know really how to say that. It's a tricky one. That'll twist your tongue. But you see the name on that? Yeah, that one. Garlic powder, red pepper flakes, honey. Oh, I need one more, sugar. Okay, those are our 6 ingredients. And what we do here is we are going to take a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. And this is a 1/4 cup measuring dose. Move that out of the way. What do you think, Spider-Man? Nah? You want? What do you think? You like it? Okay, then we're gonna do a just a 1/4 cup of the W sauce. That's we're gonna go with that. I'm not even gonna attempt to say that name again. Then we do 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Like that. And then I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of red pepper flake. If you want it hotter, you can double it. You can do 2 tablespoons. You can do as many tablespoons as you want if you want it hotter. But I've done it with 2. And 2 is honestly a good heat, but I have some children in the house, so I don't want to. I'm going to go. The recipe actually calls for 2, but I'm going to do 1 just so it's not as flaming for these children. I don't even know if I'm going to do that whole thing. We're going to do that for them. That looks like a lot. We're going to do 1/2 tablespoon of the red pepper flake. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of sugar. Ooh, that red pepper got my nose. And we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of honey. All right, just gonna stir this around, give it a little mix. We take all of our meat and put it in this bag. Like that. And then we take our, got you two. And then we take, then we take our brine that we made and we're just gonna dump it in our bag. And we want all that goody good. All that, a lot of that stuff in there is like sugar and honey. So scrape it out, unless you don't like that stuff. Okay, then we just seal her up. Stick her in the fridge for, if you need to like do it quickly, like if you're like, man, I really don't want to wait, 4 hours. I would say 4 hours minimum, but ideally you want to do 18 to 24 hours of letting this sit in the fridge. So let it sit in the fridge for 18 to 24, but if you really just can't, you can do it for 4. But this is a last process here. All right, next day, baby. All right, y'all. Day 2, and we're gonna show you the cooking process. So basically, how we're gonna cook this is with this oven. I choose the oven mainly because 99% of people have an oven. There's other ways to cook it. You could do it in a smoker. You could do it in a dehydrator. So if you have any of those options, you can do that too. But I'm going to show you how to do it with the oven. And so to do this, we are going to bake. My oven goes down to 170. That's the lowest you can. I think that's the lowest a lot of ovens go. So just put it at your lowest setting. I'm doing 170 because that's the lowest that we can go. Now what I like to do is I take the oven rack out, and we are going to put our meat right on this oven rack. And then your bottom rack, which just lay it with aluminum foil. Put aluminum foil on your bottom rack. That way when some of this stuff starts dripping, it catches and it's not all over your oven. But now I just need some paper towel. Paper towel. Let's just take a roll. All we're doing here is taking our pieces out. I'm gonna put them on this paper towel, and the paper towel is just to get the excess juices off. You don't want it super wet like this going in there. So we're just gonna lay them out here and then pat them dry. And then we'll lay them out on the rack. just dry them. Doesn't have to be crazy good. You just want to get, you know, most of that off, and then we just lay them across your rack. And they can be touching. They don't have to. You don't want to overlap them, but you know, they can be touching each other. That's fine. Here we go. All right, we didn't quite fill up our rack there, but 3/4, 90%, maybe more. I actually, like I said, don't overlap them. You can see they're really tight. I didn't overlap them, but they are touching quite a bit. But this is going to be just fine. Now what we got to do is we are going to stick it in our oven. Like so. Shutter. And now we're just gonna wait. We're gonna give it 4 hours. We're gonna come back and check it at 3 hours just to make sure everything's looking good and just to make sure it's not cooking faster than I think it should or slower. So we'll check it at 3 just to see where it's at, but it's gonna probably take 4. One thing that I do differently than a lot of people is I actually shut this oven all the way. A lot of people do it in the oven, they say to like keep it cracked, like put a spoon in there and like let the oven stay slightly cracked. You can do that way if you want to. That just allows, I think, a little bit more air into the oven to help it dry, but I just shut it all the way. So we'll come back in 3 hours and check it. All right, guys, well, it's about a 3.5 hour check, but we're gonna check it, see how it's looking. We need longer. And you can tell that just because this is still kind of rubbery almost. It's not really dried out all the way. And I'm going to say, just looking at these, they're gonna need they might need another 2 hours. Just kind of, at this point, you just want to check it about every hour until it gets to that dryness that you're looking for. So, not quite there, but we are getting there. All right, guys, it's been about 6.5 hours, and there it is. I think it's looking pretty good. I think it's done. I'm gonna pull it out here. Try not to burn my hand off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There they are. All right, here it is. It is, I would say it's done. It's still a little bit bendy, which I like it. You could go a little longer and make it drier to where it like breaks almost, like super dry, if that's how you like it. I like it to be a little bit flexible. Kind of like what you get at the store. So anyway, looks good. So now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna let it sit here. Ooh, that's hot. We're gonna let it sit here for about 30 minutes, let it cool off, and then we'll bag it up. All right, guys, they are all cooled off, and now we are just going to bag them up. Pretty simple, obviously. You just get yourself some lunch baggies, and then you fill to your desired amount. We'll do a little more. And that's about good, huh? We'll do that. And we're just gonna repeat the process over and over. We'll probably get, I don't know, we'll get a few bags out of this, but then you can just obviously take these wherever you want. Eat them in your truck, eat them at work, eat them at your house, eat them wherever. And just leave them in your fridge, and they're good for a while. So months in your fridge. So that's how you do jerky, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll do it again. Oh, it's good. That tastes nice.